Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be looking and talking about Jules Koundé's renewal as it is official. Jules Koundé, he has signed a contract renewal with Barcelona lasting until 2030 for 5 more years. Absolutely ecstatic about that. We're going to be looking at some of his words, looking at about some of his thoughts in regards to the upcoming season. But before I do, guys, make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. And as well, the link to become a member is also posted down below. But as always, guys, let's get started with the video. All right, guys, let's get started with the video and let's look at some of those photos from Jules Koundé's renewal. As you can see right here, this is Joan Laporta, Jules Koundé, and Rafa Yuste. Apparently, there are some rumors in regards to him going to Saudi. There's some more rumors that they want to talk about, but looking at the quotes from Jules Koundé, the video would be way too long. And right here is another image of him signing until 2030. Absolutely looking clean and looking at his words. Well, actually, before I do, guys, I want to share this image, this video right here. Jules Koundé with Joan Laporta. What a nice moment. Okay, and now I want to look over some of his quotes. As he talked about some thoughts and some feelings. He starts off by saying, very proud to extend my contract until 2030. Very grateful to the club for the opportunity to keep wearing this shirt. Thank you, culers, for your support and affection. Let's keep making history. That's what he posted on Instagram, and it's very, very exciting. Jules Koundé was absolutely rock solid last season, arguably the best right back in the world. A center back converted into a right back. That's so crazy. And this season, we're going to be looking to have Jules Koundé replicate the same form. Continuing on, he actually talked about the Ballon d'Or. He was asked this question. He is asked who should win it. And Jules Koundé responded by saying, you're putting me in a tough spot because there's also Dembele. I'll just say that if Lamine wins it, he deserves it, just like other players who have also had a good season. Jules Koundé trying to be a little bit neutral right there. In regards to some of his teammates, because if we do remember, Jules Koundé is French, but he's also part of Barcelona, so he is, in a bit of a pickle. He talks about the objectives for the upcoming season, and he says, we can attack better, defend better. If I have to highlight one thing, it's conceding fewer goals, especially in the final minutes. Understanding that in a difficult match, it might be better not to take so many risks and to be more pragmatic in order to manage results more effectively. And that is something that we did struggle, through, I would say a large majority of the games last season, but it comes with Hansi Flick being so aggressive, with Barcelona playing the style of football that they do play. When you put your team, the opposition team under pressure and you press them so high and you have that high line, you're being very attacking, you're rewarding attacking play, but if they do manage to breach your defensive line, and that's where Barcelona do struggle. And you saw in the key games last season where Barcelona, we were able to score lots of goals, but at the same time, we conceded a lot of goals. And in that tie against Inter Milan, we did concede, some very late goals that just, knocked us out of the competition. Jules Koundé, he continues to talk about Lamine Yamal. He says, hurting the team? Impossible. We have a very good relationship. He's an extraordinary, brilliant player, but above all, he's a team player. He works for the team. He's not going to defend like everyone else because he needs that energy to make the difference up front. I don't mind defending a bit more if the guy puts in performances like this and scoring and assisting. And it's super interesting that Jules Koundé is saying this about Lamine Yamal because this is the same treatment that Messi had for so many years. Messi was allowed not to defend because he was so effective up front. He was the best player, the best attacker, the best player in overall history. And that is what made him so brilliant. And it's interesting to see how there's already, instances where Jules Koundé is saying, hey, I don't mind defending if Lamine Yamal is able to have this impact into the team. Absolutely crazy, crazy praise right there going on the way of Lamine Yamal. Jules Koundé, he talks about the UCL. And he says, not winning it is not a failure, but of course, our objective is to win it. It's the competition that excites the most. Not only at Barça, it's a tournament that carries the most relevance, and we all dream of winning it. He continues on, he talks about the upcoming season, and he says, we are very excited. The club went through difficult times. Not everything is fixed, but it's moving in the right direction at all levels. Everyone's dream is to return to the Camp Nou and play in front of more people. Camp Nou is our home, and it will be a special. It will be special to return because it also has an influence on our opponents. It's a historic and very big stadium. And when Barcelona they do return to the Camp Nou, a stadium in which Jules Koundé has played on, it's not going to add, a vibe and an aura, sort of say, around this Barcelona team, but financially as well. Returning to the Camp Nou, having more people come, it's just going to boost those revenue streams, and it's going to just make things overall so much easier for Barcelona, not only out there on the pitch, but as well financially. Just he continues to talk about the renewal and the impact it had on the club. He says the club has gone through difficult times. We are doing much better in both sporting and financial terms. And if my signing helped with any registration, I'm delighted. I haven't spoke about it with my teammates though. And I wonder how that registration, the renewal of Jules Koundé has allowed those registrations to go through. Has it been, more of a deferred salary? Has it been renewals? Has it been, I would say, performance incentives? We're going to have to see how that, dictates in the next upcoming reports. Hopefully, I see those reports and I will be making sure to keep you guys updated. Just Koundé, he continues to talk about the UCL. He says, I don't see it as a danger. People demand it because they see we have the quality to achieve it. People really like this team and the way we play. We feel it on the pitch while walking around or on tour. I don't see it as something dangerous. It's an objective of ours. We are at Barça without becoming obsessed, but yes, it's an objective. And looking at the season overall, guys, and just, the past couple of months, Barcelona, they're going to be trying to go all out to win this competition. I know the players, feel that as well. A lot of the Barcelona fan base, they have this drive, this burning desire to win this trophy because it has eluded us for so long. And when Barcelona have been the best team in the world, then they have been able to win it. And we are so close yet so far last season. We need Barcelona to win that trophy. Me personally, I would be satisfied with Barcelona winning the Champions League and not winning anything else. I know that's a very controversial take. I know a lot of you guys, would disagree, but it's just a trophy that it's gone way too long without Barcelona winning it. We need to win it, and of course, just when it says, we have to not become obsessed with it, but it's an objective. And that's an objective that we must complete. Jules Koundé, he talks about the prospect of surpassing Eric Abidal as a Barcelona player. And he says it would be a huge honor to go past French legends like Abidal. I won't lie, it's an objective. I want to have a leading role at this club, the biggest one. And those words light up in my mind. That tells me that Jules Koundé has no intention of leaving Barcelona. That tells me right there that he has the ambition, the hunger, and the desire to succeed at Barcelona and to create history. Those are the type of players that we want at the club. Those are the type of players that could be the captains to lead, this Barcelona team. And I'm so happy to have Jules Koundé in the squad. Jules Koundé, he reminisces about his last-minute goal against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. And he says, honestly, I don't see it as a turning point, just as a very beautiful moment, a high point in my career. There are always moments that mark you, and that was a very special one. I'm a defender. It's usually the forwards who get the spotlight. That's why it felt good to be the protagonist that day. We can't always shine like that. And that's the life of being a defender. Your key moments, your the opportunities, and when you score a goal, it's magnified tenfold. But as a defender, that's not your role. Your role is there just to support the team and making sure everything functions, and the team doesn't concede. It's not a position that fills you with glory. It's a much needed position. Just Koundé, he talks about the competition between him and Eric Garcia, and he says, I see it very positively. I like competition. Eric is a great player. I feel very good. And even though the season is just starting, I can't say I'm already at the level I expect to be later on. I'm very demanding with myself, and I work to get better every year. And it's interesting that Jules Koundé says this, because Hansi Flick, he's been starting Eric Garcia over these past couple of weeks during preseason. And could it be that Hansi Flick, as he said in multiple times, he just sees Eric Garcia at a better level than Jules Koundé. And Jules Koundé, he recognizes that. He says, I can't say I'm already at the level I expect to be later on. Jules Koundé acknowledging that he's not at his best level right now. And the competition with it, he's all open for it. But Eric Garcia, he's just playing that well. And this is a fantastic problem to have. You want to have your players competing at a very high level. You never want to feel, you never want to have your players feel comfortable and just be, I would say, just relaxed, because at Barcelona, you're competing at the very, very highest level. You need to win. You need to be winning consistently and putting in amazing performances. And that's the pressure that comes with playing at a club like Barcelona. Just Koundé, he talks about his position of play, and he says it's a question that always comes back. I feel very comfortable as a fullback, and more so every time. But it depends on the coach. To be honest, I will always say that I am a center back converted into a fullback. And I wonder, will Jules Koundé ever go back to being a natural center back? In those games where, a certain suspension, a certain injury has come about, that could be a possibility. But I see Jules Koundé retiring in that position, honestly, unless Barcelona are able to sign a marvelous right back that is able to replace some of Jules Koundé's responsibilities and allow him to go back into the center back role. I don't see it happening, and I see him, retiring as a fullback. Jules Koundé talks about Hansi Flick. He says, I haven't spoken about the coach yet in regards to my position. And so it's simple as that. He's going to be staying as a right back. Jules Koundé, he talks further about his contract extension. And he says, I'm very proud to extend my contract. It was very easy. The club and I were both clear about it. It will be 8 seasons, and what motivates me every day is to win trophies. We have a team that can compete against anyone. Becoming a legend is not something on my mind. That's for people to say. What I do feel is the affection from the fans. And I want to thank Jules Koundé, because at no point did he make things for Barcelona. It was super simple. He wanted to continue. Barcelona wanted to keep him. They initiated the contract renewals, the talks so easily. And this comes about from him and how he feels at Barcelona. He says, I'm very happy to renew. It was quite simple. I feel very comfortable here. And for me and for the club, it was very easy to reach an agreement. Jules Koundé backing the words. And in regards to the objectives next season, guys, Jules Koundé, he says, the sky is the limit. As we say in France, that's my aim. We're lucky to be at a club that competes for every title. We're going for more, to win even more than last season. It's a pleasure to have played so many games with Barça. Hopefully we can surpass Abidal as the French player with the most appearances for the club. And honestly, guys, every single word from Jules Koundé, it just filled me with the desire of him wanting to succeed at the club and him wanting to become, a pillar in this team and at Barcelona. I feel so happy that Jules Koundé is there, because he's a hard worker. He's a fantastic player who is reliable, is hardworking, and puts in amazing performances. Every single team in the world will want a player such as Jules Koundé, and Barcelona, we're so happy to have him out there on the pitch for us until 2030, and long may it continue. But guys, thank you guys all for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What do you guys make of everything I discussed in today's video? And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, guys.
Wow.